Can you hear me? Okay, I can't hear you. Ugh, if it ain't one thing, I'm not technology savvy. Clearly, I can't hear you. It's on. It's on. It's coming. I'm using my phone. Mm, okay.
1 2 3 1 2 3.
I can hear you now.
Okay. I had to switch up my browser and stuff. So great. So nobody could hear me the whole time I was running my mouth, which is fine. It's just fine, Ivy. All right. I'm gonna edit it back to cut off all our foolishness. So anyway, welcome to Media Mondays. This is where we talk about you're using the media to get ahead and how to make your own media make money. Now, I'm Dr. Wright. I'm the host of the Right Place television show. I have been on broadcast television for 16 years, and I know how to make your show make money, your radio show, your TV show make money. Now, in the broad sense of media, media includes radio, terrestrial, satellite, and internet radio, 3 kinds of radio. It includes television, web TV, cable TV, broadcast TV, satellite TV, Roku. That's, I guess, is that considered internet
Good.
TV, Ivy?
I think so.
Roku?
Yeah, because you do need a wireless connection or that little. Yeah, you need like a little internet box. I think you do need wireless connection for that. But they do have the what is it called? They went from the old antenna system to now it's called digital antenna or whatever. So
Digital
there's so many.
antenna, yes. There's so many
Yeah.
things. And digital antenna actually works well. Wait till you have a storm and you don't have any power, digital antenna can be the bomb. Anyway,
Yes.
it includes Periscope, that is media. Blab
Hmm.
is media. Google Hangouts are media. Snapchat, all of that is media now.
Yep.
And now that Twitter and Facebook are moving into streaming in your
Yeah.
side, they're becoming media. So everybody's becoming media because video is the thing. So you need to learn how to be good on video and you need to learn how to monetize it.
Yep.
So if you're in the radio TV space, that's where I can help you. So, Ivy is our PR specialist. She works with me in Peak Performers Institute. That's where we met, but of course we talk to each other offline because we do some very similar things. And she lets me come and vent when I need a shoulder to cry on about clients that they don't understand what I'm trying to do for them and what's happening. So, because she knows, when you have somebody in the
They
industry,
never
she knows.
understand.
We call it vent in the tent. So you have to find, that's a strategy. It's a real strategy. It's not something I just made up with her. It's a real strategy. So you have to find someone who understands you. This is a private vent. You guys can talk and vent. The person isn't there to solve your problems. They're just here to let you get it out so that when you're out in public, you don't spill it out. You vent in the tent. The tent is home and outside is everywhere else. So welcome, Ivy, to Media Mondays. And let's talk about PR because media has widened and
Yes.
PR has changed too. So talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so in the traditional sense, PR is literally alerting the media and getting in the media. And now it's changed to now include social media, which I always say is a tool and a resource and not the cure all to be all. A lot of people take social media as the only platform they will announce their events, only announce their new hires and things of that nature, and it really should just be used as a tool. So now, with the age of video that we're in, a lot of people take that and try to make that into PR with little quick announcements and commercials and things of that nature. So we're getting away from what should be traditional PR and going into more of a digital age PR. And it really should, in my opinion, stay traditional because regardless of where media is going, it's always going to have a traditional platform.
It is. It's always going to have a traditional platform, and it's built up over time. It has modified, but people have been using PR for years and years, centuries, really, centuries. The history of PR is quite interesting, and when you read up on it and read how people came about with their techniques and what they tried to do, it's actually quite fascinating. So tell us what you do for clients specifically, because there's a lot of areas of PR, and a lot of people call themselves a PR professional. And, it's like, and what does that mean? Um,
Right. So PR, as we know, is public relations or Puerto Rico, whichever one you want to go first. So I think we prefer Puerto Rico, but
yes,
public
Puerto
relations,
Rico, but
I mean, in
go
and of
ahead.
itself, public relations is just a working tie with the media. And so, what I do for my clients after I create a press release, after I create their social media platforms to make different announcements and make things happen for media traction, I also go back and manage. A lot of people don't understand that PR has a management side to it. And so, they'll send out a press release and then wonder why no one, hello, Paula, then wonder
Hey.
why they're not gaining traction, or they hound the editors, or they'll hound, because I work more in the print side, the digital print side. I have done TV shows, I have done radio shows, but my love is the print area, the digital print and the traditional print side. And I work with small and medium media outlets. So not only do I help clients get their story into the media, I also manage it for newer opportunities for them to have the opportunity to go further. I create what's called organized noise. And so I collectively work with small and medium-sized media outlets across the country so that I'm able to get the attention of the big guys. I don't go after the big guys because everybody wants to have the Oprah's couch syndrome. So that everybody wants to tell their story on Oprah's couch. We know that there's no couch anymore, but still, they just have this wild view about getting onto big media platforms to tell their story. And unfortunately, it doesn't always work in their favor. As you know, Dr. Wright, it doesn't always work in their
It
favor.
doesn't always work. And plus, here's the thing with everybody. If you're watching, I like the stair step. I like the stair step method. Grow your PR muscles. Everybody wants to jump
Yes.
on Oprah's couch, on the Today Show, and you've never even done local TV news. If you haven't even been on your local TV news, you need some practice. And
Yes.
I live in LA, so that is the #2 market. Being on the local TV news in LA is a big deal.
Hmm.
So you want to make your mistakes in a small market. If I'm going to make
Yes.
mistakes, I'm going to go somewhere that's not in the top 25 markets of the United States. I'm going to pick a small market. So chances are you don't live in LA with me and you don't live in New York. Big chances
Right.
are that you don't live in those two areas. So start with your local paper, your local morning news. That's what you need to do. That's
And that's what I specialize in.
hmm
Yep.
so that's why you need people like her to really figure this all out. It is not it's not easily figured out, I guess.
Right.
You know what
And
I'm saying? Yeah.
that's definitely what I try to tell people. They want that big
Okay,
media draw.
Paula, can you put yourself on mute? I put it on mute because you have a lot of noise in the background. Okay, go ahead, Ivy. I'm sorry.
Yes, they want that big exposure, but the average client who, like you said, haven't been on their local media, who haven't been exposed to their local paper, who haven't been exposed to their local radio stations, kind of fluff when they get to their big media opportunity. They freeze or they're not ready with their presentation. And so I try to help a lot of my clients with media branding, building their media footprint, what I call a media footprint, to get them to where they're trying to go. And it helps build their media brand by staying consistent in the smaller and medium markets than to where when they transition over, if they receive a bigger opportunity, they're equipped to handle that bigger opportunity.
Absolutely. And then a lot of the tribe, they have some of the people have shows or want to have shows, and they want to get on somebody else's show talking about their show. So let's talk about how well that goes over in the industry and what their alternatives should be.
Oh, well, yes. I always tell people to tell, not sell, when they have a media opportunity. Because if you're going to sell yourself, if you're going to sell your book, your event, your show, or whatever, you need to pay for advertisement. And I think a lot of people try to use media as their advertising, free media as their advertising. As you know, we get invited to everything just so people can say, can you talk about my show? Can you write about my this? And so it's media disguise, it's advertising disguised in media. And so how tacky is it? What I always tell people, do not take somebody else's platform to bolster your platform. If you have a specific cause, if you have a specific thing that you want to talk about, then tell your story, don't sell it. So you have this book about domestic violence. Of course we want to hear your story in it, but we don't want to hear your book. We don't want to hear the whole thing about your book, and then you end with it for $14.95.
Hmm
No here,
Or
go there.
or those fantastic guests that spend the whole time saying, well, that's in my book. I mean, I did an interview like that where literally every question was, well, when you get my book for $14.95, well, it's in my book, get it in my book. And it was like, okay, you're going to be a terrible. And I didn't have any other guests, and I was hosting a live 1 hour show. So we were
Oh,
taking calls, and I was, like a live 1 hour show. I like hosting live shows because it keeps my chops fresh as a host.
yes.
But every once in a while, you get that show that's an exercise. So I'm trying to keep it interesting, but the guy won't talk. And his his book was based on the Wizard of Oz story. So
Huh.
everything in life he was considering, well, this is like Dorothy, and this is like the Tin Man, and this is. I was like, oh my God, really? Because this is not going to fascinate anybody over 12. It was just really some very, very basic stuff. But every single question was, well, when you get my book, blah, blah, blah. It was terrible. So don't go to when you get my book. Tell the story. Here's the thing. If you can sit in an interview and they know your whole book and you've told everything in it, there is not much in that book.
Oh my gosh. If you could go through the whole interview and tell your whole book, you have not been trained at all for media. That means you need to divert to life experiences or client experiences. That means you need to talk about other things that you've read, highlight a friend.
Oh gosh, yeah. You need to talk about other things you've read. You need to have more experiences. You need to have a more expanded book. But
Or shorten your interview that way you can keep, that's what people don't understand in media. When they want this, they're excited for the 1 hour opportunity, but then they run out of things to say. And that means you didn't do your due diligence to see what the show topic was about, what kind of questions they were going to ask, how was the flow of the show going to go? Am I needed as a host for the entire time? Can I have a smaller segment? And that's what I do for the management of PR. I get you ready for that step a lot of people don't know about, and build your brand, because like you said, if you tell the whole story, your book whole story, then I don't have a need to buy it because I've heard it all in an hour.
Exactly. And an hour is a long time to have a segment. Let me just tell you, if they give you an hour segment, you better be tap dancing and entertaining and as all get out, because it can be a lot. Well, listen, we're 20 minutes in the hour. I'm going to switch over, Ivy. I'm going to come back to you. I want to introduce everybody to Paula G. I'm going to turn on her mic and get her all up and going. And Paula has her own show. She agreed to come on. It's really late in her house, so thank you very much for hanging out with us. You certainly didn't have to be up. I don't know how I would feel if somebody said, could you please come at 10 o'clock at night?
Just drink some coffee, that's all. Just drink some coffee.
So you are very, very gracious. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I wanted to have you on because I wanted to introduce you to my tribe, my peeps, here live and here on the replay. And she's also in the Facebook group. If you're watching on the Showtime Media page, I'm happy that you're watching, or you're watching on Facebook. You can definitely share this on Facebook. Share it on Twitter. Share it with your friends. And also, you can go to our Facebook group, which is called Instant Star Maker. That's right, Instant Star Maker, because that used to be the name of our old website, Instant Star Maker. So we kept the name because I like calling my tribe stars. They're stars. So it's a Facebook group, Instant Star Maker. She is also there, and you can ask her any questions in there too. Felicia Mohammed, thank you for catching the replay. She's in a class, so she's going to catch the replay. She's very supportive of everything we do. So you guys give Felicia a shout out. She's just busy tonight. Alrighty, so if you have a question, and get into the Instant Star Maker group, ask your questions there. But Paula, introduce everybody to you, your show, and what Paula G Voice is all about.
Well, first of all, good evening, and thank you so much for having me this evening. I am Paula G of the Paula G Show on Survival Radio Network. Yay! And my show airs on Wednesday evenings, 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And my show's been on since January. I actually co-hosted another show for almost 2 years prior to having my own show. So I'm really excited about having my own show. And each week I aspire to bring my audience just quality programming. Good guests that have a genuine story, something that will inspire, something that will encourage, something that will educate, something that will motivate the audience. So my show varies, my guest varies from week to week. I put out surveys for my audience. So depending on how they respond to the survey really determines how I book my shows. So that's how I book my shows. I listen to my audience, they tell me what they want to hear, and I book accordingly.
Very good, very good. So it's great for people to have a following, because that really helps you track whether or not they can bring value to the show. So,
absolutely.
So out there, you need to get a following, you need to connect with people, and you need to. So tell me about your passion for even doing your show. How did you become passionate about it? You co-hosted for a while, so that was great. That gave you a chance to figure out if you really liked it. That's a good way for you guys to figure out if you like it enough to keep doing it.
Yes, co-hosting is great. I also volunteer with the Georgia Radio Reading Service, which is an internet radio station for the blind and visually impaired. Nice. So that gave me an opportunity to really get my feet wet, both with live reading, broadcasting, as well as audiobook recording, because voiceover is also another area that I'm interested in. So I did that for maybe about 2 years, and I always had radio in the back of my head. but really didn't know how to go about starting my
Mhm.
own show or getting on radio. And as it would happen, I was at an event here in the Atlanta area, Hank Stewart's White Linen Affair, and Clark
Mhm.
Garrison from the Survival Radio Network was broadcasting, and I went over, I introduced myself to him, we started a conversation, and as they say, the rest is history. So it's something that I'm very passionate about. I work hard to produce a quality show each and every week for my audience. And my audience, it's all about the relationship with the audience. I'm very protective of my audience, and I like to have a relationship with my audience. So I'm not just going to put anything in front of them each week. I'm going to make sure that it's something that they want to hear. It's information that will be of assistance to them or help to them. I'm just really, really protective of my audience and want to make sure that I bring them the best every week.
Absolutely. Now, if someone's watching, they want to
Yes.
approach you to be a guest, they feel like your show is a good fit, what
Mm-hmm.
what is the best way to approach you as a broadcaster?
It's interesting. You asked that question. For the most part, in the 2.5, 3 years that I've been on the air, I usually approach others, and that's just through conversations. I am huge on relationships. And, if I'm out in a function and I'm talking to someone and we just engage in conversation and there's chemistry there as far as the conversation, they're passionate about what they're talking about. If they've written a book, or if it's art, if it's music, if it's education, whatever it is, if they're passionate about it and I just feel their spirit, then, usually I will invite them to be a guest on the show. I mean, I don't have a major science as to how I do it. It's
Okay.
just a feel. But to answer your question, for me, it's all about relationships. If you're approaching me and I'm feeling as though, I'm approaching you because I want to get my book out to the masses and I want to sell my book solely from that aspect, that's not really an approach that you want to take. It's all about relationships. Approaching someone that has a show, you're passionate about what you're doing, you're knowledgeable about what you're doing. It's something that can help someone else, that can help someone else, that it can encourage or nurture someone else. Those are the kinds of people, that I'm looking for as far as coming on the show. Can they hold a conversation? Can they
It's
share?
surprising. It's surprising
Yes.
how many authors can't
Hold a
They
conversation.
have wonderful books, but they cannot
Yes.
hold a conversation.
Hold a
Oh my
conversation.
God.
Yes. And
Yeah.
the questions, you're asking questions and you're getting one word answers. I'm like, no,
That's
that's
the
not good.
kiss of death, you guys.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
no,
No.
maybe. Oh my
Right.
gosh.
Right.
I was so tired one day on a show. This couple was sitting there and they were kind of giving me
Uh,
word answers, and I was a little tired and I leaned forward and I
right.
said, "It's a talk show. You got to talk."
Exactly.
Not the best response.
No.
I would
Exactly.
never do that now, but I would just think that in my head.
Yes, yeah, but if they're approaching, if they can converse, if it's a comfortable conversation, because for me on my show, I like for it to be a conversation. I don't like for it to be an interview. I want it to be a conversation, like we're sitting on the sofa in the living room having a conversation. So if it flows like that, and I have had some people that approach me, and it's been a bit uh, standoffish, for lack of a better word, because it just felt more like a means of them to have a tool to market whatever the product was. And my show is not an hour commercial. You follow me? I want someone to come on and just share their journey and share their story. And you made a good point about the person saying, it's in my book, it's in my book, it's in my book. They need to come on and just share something that the audience can take away, but yet they will still be inspired to purchase the book. If someone has a compelling story, you don't need to keep telling the audience, you buy my book, it's in the book, purchase. If you have a compelling story at the end of that conversation or at the end of that interview, when, you share your contact information or you share how they can get the book, that's when the sale occurs. If they really have something that is compelling and they're passionate about them telling their story, that's what sells the book. If that's their ultimate goal, and I've had. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Sorry. Do you like to read the book before you interview someone?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, yes, yeah. I have to read the book to really get a feel, of the book. If it's something that my audience would be interested in, but yes. If I have an author on, I want to read the book. If I have a musician on, I want to hear their music. If it's
Gotta hear the music.
yeah,
Gotta hear the music. You
oh
don't
my
want any
gosh,
surprises.
no. If it's if whoever, whatever, and that's the key. Whoever, whatever it is, you really need to do your homework before the show, because you do not want any surprises. During that hour. If you haven't done your homework, and that is crucial. Like you said, the kiss of death. You get on the air, and you haven't done your homework. That could be the kiss of death.
Absolutely.
That could really be the kiss of death. Yeah.
So let's talk about Paula for a minute. We talked about our show.
Yes.
What gets you passionate? What gets your fires burning? What gets you heated up? What turns the light on behind your eyes?
Oh gosh, being in front of the microphone. Being in front of the microphone in a booth, recording an audiobook, doing voiceover, just being in the booth, recording, having that piece in front of me and bringing it to life through my voice, giving it some layers, giving it some color through my voice. That is what speaks to me. The volunteer work that I do on the Georgia Radio Reading Service is so powerful. When I meet some of the listeners, we meet them sometimes and they know you by voice. They could be on the other side of the room and they hear your voice and they know you by your voice. And our voices have power, our words have power. So being able to use my voice, being able to use my words, that's what gets my fire burning. So whether it's radio, voiceover, either one, that's what wakes me up in the morning. That's what gets my fire burning, and that's what I'm passionate about.
Okay. And for 2016, I know we all have goals and all of that. I make goals, I don't make resolutions. But tell us, what are the things that you're doing for Paula?
Yes.
Just for Paula, doesn't benefit anybody else. You're doing for Paula to help Paula be better at the end of 2016 than she was at at the beginning.
That's always a work in progress. That's always a work in progress. Yes, every single year.
What did you commit to? What have you committed to? What have you decided you're going to do?
What I have decided I'm going to do this year to benefit Paula, nobody else but Paula, is to increase my prayer time, to spend more time in prayer, because that's where I grow, that's where I get clarity, that's where I get peace, that's where I get answers. So to spend more time in prayer and being more centered, getting more centered. I work out, so continuing my fitness routines, having my show grow. I really want my show to grow and to reach more individuals. And just working on my voiceover career. But prayer, I would say, yeah.
Very good, very good. All right, well, tell everybody how to get in touch with you, Paula. What's the best way, how you like to be connected to? Everybody doesn't like a phone call. Everybody doesn't like an email. Everybody doesn't like a tweet or a text.
A little bit.
So, yeah, so what is the best way for you, for them to contact you directly?
Okay, the best way for me to contact me directly would be my email, which is paulagvoice@gmail.com. My Facebook group page, The Paula G Show. People can join the page, ask questions, post questions, anything that they would like to see in regard to this show. Twitter, @PaulaG402 is my Twitter. I'm getting pretty good at tweeting now.
All right, good.
Getting pretty good at that. Instagram, PaulaG402. And like I said, the Paula G Show Facebook page and my website, www.paulagvoice.com.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm not going to keep you too late. I'm going to go back over to Ivy, but we're so glad you
Okay.
came. It was great to
Thank
meet
you.
you. Look forward to hanging out with you some more and talking
Oh,
to you
please
again.
do.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
That was good. That was so good. All right, back to you, lady.
Yes, ma'am. That was some good information. I love how she gets her like how she filters her guests. I love that. That was some good information.
It's
You
very,
know.
very. It's a very that she has a very thoughtful process, and so I suspect it is a very, very fine filter. So only the
Mm-hmm.
really good stuff is going to get through that kind of filter. So you guys, save the BS for somebody else. I don't think
Mm-mm.
it's going to work that well on Apology.
Mm-mm.
Just
No,
saying, just
no.
saying.
I don't like
Not she did no.
Mm-mm.
As my cousin in Virginia Beach likes to say, no hustle zone. For those of
Mm-mm.
you that don't know, the TCE group, the career engineer down in Virginia Beach, we did a little family tree digging, and it turns out we're cousins. So my cousin in Virginia Beach has a TV show too. Go figure.
Wow.
awesome. That's pretty cool. Voice, your
Alrighty. Say that again. I missed it.
Paula's voice.
Yeah, yeah, you have a wonderful voice. I know I was making notes. I'm like, I know who to call the next time I'm doing a movie and I need the voiceover for this documentary. We know that Paula does voiceover, so we're gonna make a note. It's a very calming voice. I mean, that's a good good it would be great for like a
Yes.
meditation
Mm-hmm.
CD. She'd be great for
Yes.
that.
Hey.
Definitely books on tape. I have
Mm-hmm.
like not books on tape. How old am I? Books on tape.
Dating yourself. You dating yourself.
I'm dating myself. Books on
Dating
tape.
yourself.
Okay, so I gotta tell you this experience. Really, this really happened. So Paula, in our area, we have a place that tapes audiobooks for the blind also.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
so you can go in and volunteer and you have assignments. And I did that. But when I first went in, they kind of interview you. Did you have an interview
Yes.
too?
Oh, yeah. I had an interview. I had an audition. 2 auditions.
Yes. Okay. So I was sitting in there, and I'm dressed nice, by the way. The head guy that's running the place comes out and says, "Oh, come and sit in the kitchen."
Mm.
I'm thinking he was asking me if I wanted a cup of coffee. So I was like, "Okay, whatever." I'm sat in the kitchen. So the lady who is, I don't think she's a secretary, but she's
Mm.
under him. She comes out and she goes, "Dr. Wright?" And I said, "Yes." She says, "Why are you sitting in the kitchen?" I said, "I don't know.
He told me to
Guy
sit
for
in
the
the
chief
kitchen.
president office told me to go sit in the kitchen." And she's like, she looks around like she's giving them like really bad stink eye. And he comes out and walks past and she goes, "Why did you send Dr. Wright to the kitchen? She's here to audition." And he was like, "Oh, I thought she was interviewing for the job for the cleaning lady."
The cleaning. Oh. Oh, that's wrong. He
The
was
lady
wrong.
was so embarrassed. She just like turned red. She was like, "Oh, she's
From head to toe.
so anyway, I stayed there for a little while, but it was a
It
little
was.
rough in that office.
I'm sure.
Don't say. It was a little rough. It's probably
For
better
him.
now.
For
It's
him.
probably better now, but they also give books not only to the blind but to
Yes.
handicapped people who
Yes.
cannot hold books. And
Whole
I
book.
know
Hmm.
who gets a lot of books from them.
Yes.
So God
And
bless
also
you for them
people
for reading.
with dyslexia as well.
Yes, yes, dyslexic students. I did a
Yes.
lot of textbooks. I got to be honest. I did a lot of textbooks because
Yes.
a lot of people don't want to do that, and for me,
Exactly.
it was awesome.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Hmm.
I know all about stuff that nobody cares about except that
You
student.
know?
Anyway,
We
so
got you. We got you.
we got that. I just had to tell you that story because I haven't met anybody else that's
Do it.
done that besides me
I can
and Bill
relate.
now. So
I can relate. I can relate.
I had to tell you that story. So, okay, back to you, Ivy. Tell us how do people know that they're really ready for PR? Seriously, they want PR, they want to do this, they want to do that. How do you know you're ready?
First, you know you're ready when you educate yourself on what PR actually is. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of people think that PR is simply writing a press release and sending it out through the wire. Oh, I paid for this service or I use this free service. And so the education of PR to understand that there's levels to it and
Mm-hmm.
understanding when they understand their target market. A lot of people
Mm-hmm.
try to have the Walmart philosophy with their brand. And so what they want to do is become a household name. And my response has been, still is, Walmart is not a household name. There are people who don't go to Walmart regardless of what they need. So a lot of people, when they realize their audience, when they realize that going into like here, we have a Fort Worth-based newspaper called the Star Telegram and a Dallas newspaper called the Dallas Morning News, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're a Fort Worth-based company and all you want to do is focus on Fort Worth, you shouldn't try to get into Dallas Morning News, right? Because it really is a different game. And Dallas does not like to go to Fort Worth, even though it's like a 30-minute drive, and vice versa. So when they truly identify their market, if they want to reach the community, if they want to reach the mid-level, if they want to reach the higher level, and then they know what kind of platforms they want to use, that is something important too. Is your message visual?
Yes.
Yes, you can use words and people can visualize it, but not everybody is creative in their thought process to understand how to visualize something. So is your message visual? Does it require writing? Is it more audio?
Especially especially if you are dealing with radio, you have got to be incredibly descriptive. You have to take your time and really sharing what it is you're saying and how you're saying it. You're going to have to really develop every single word in the description about it. On a radio show, you just can't go my shirt. You've got to go my shirt that's designed by so and so and has this and has that. You got to take some time and be very descriptive. And people just want to kind of push through like everything is visual, and that's not it. And so there's an art to it. There really is an art to it. You can do an interview, you can get on TV, but can you get asked back? Can you get
There
asked back?
you go. Are you going to sit there like a bump on a log? Are you going to be too animated? Because some people don't like overly animated people. Same thing in print. Are you going to be too wordy? Are you going to be, are we going to have to pull, are we going to have to pull the interview out of you?
Are we
If
gonna
some,
try to pull you, or are you gonna go and like speakers? I love this. They go into speech mode, and they will just talk, 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 because they've got a speech they're saying, and there's no break in the speech, and it's like, hello, number one, I'm a human being. You wouldn't talk like that at a party, and if you did, you'd be by yourself very quickly. Number two, we got a break for a commercial, so take a breath, bro. Take a breath. Um, it's all of those things have to be the right kind of mix. I in general like to kind of match my host. If I have a very animated host, then I can talk really fast and I can be animated and I can be all that too. But if I have a very mellow, like Paula, I can tell she's very mellow. I would not come on her show and talk at the rapid, normal, Dr. Wright is from Brooklyn rate of voice. I know I'm in California, but my behavior reflects Brooklyn in a lot of ways in which it's easily identified. I'll just put it that way. So if you can match the host a little bit, be yourself, but if you can match the host, it'll be even. Otherwise, you're looking like a crazy person because the host is so calm, or you're looking like a potato because the host is all animated. And this is what you guys need to know too. Not so much radio, but TV, web TV. It magnifies you. So if you look like a good guy, you look like a great guy. If you look like a bad guy, you look like a horrible guy. That is why when Michael Jackson was going through his different trials, oh, we love you. Oh, we hate you. You're a child molester. Oh, we love you. Oh, we hate you. Because TV just magnifies that.
yeah.
And guess what? He was the same person before the trial as he was after the trial. That's the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think
All
that
that, all that good and bad was media and in people's minds. So
Right.
in media, as a media, all three of us are media professionals because I
Mhm.
do a lot of writing for different media outlets. But as a media professional, I think that what people that are trying to get into media must realize is who are you interviewing with. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
A lot of people can be smut related interviewers, meaning you're going on their show and they take nothing but the negative sound bites from you, right?
Wow.
Or you're going
That's a
to
good point.
somebody's episode and all they want to hear is the dirt and almost force you into a position to talk about things or mention things that you're not particularly on there to talk about. So
right.
you really have to match the media outlet that you want to be. That's on your audience. And also
And you
writing.
know,
And the thing is, you're not going to know about an ambush interview. You're not
mhm.
going to know that ahead of time. And that's one of the things I spend time training my clients for. Be ready for the ambush interview.
Mhm.
You're not going to know it's an ambush video interview because up until the point they ask you that question,
You're not gonna
they
know.
you won't know. They're very nice
Right.
and everything is really cool. And I do this demonstration. I did this one time. I really embarrassed the guy, and I said, "This is an example of an ambush interview." So go ahead, Ivy. Just answer any question. Just say blah 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 and answer your question. Go ahead.
Okay, so yes, thank you for having me on the show today. I want to talk about media branding. And so, media branding is this wonderful thing where you have to be ready to position your media, your brand in front of the
Mhm.
media. So,
Well, that's all well and good from a woman who's been charged with abusing her children. Let's talk about that, Ivy. That is an ambush interview.
And she looking at.
And I did
Yeah.
that. I did that too. I was
Yeah.
in a training session, and I did that
Uh-huh.
with a guy. And I said, "Yeah, that's all well and good for a guy who's been accused of beating his wife and had the police at his house." The guy just sat there and got red. And it's like this is just a pretend mock-up.
That was a good
You know what I mean?
exercise.
It wasn't.
Uh huh.
I'm your friend. I'm not. I don't know
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
about you and your wife. Don't even know if you're married. And that guy just
Mhm.
sat there getting red. So the ambush interviews
Yeah.
happen, and you have to be ready. You have to know how to handle that.
Mhm.
So it takes some training to do that.
That's a good.
That's the part you don't want to learn on the job.
Mhm. That's a good exercise.
I try to. One thing that I do try when I manage people's media is I try to get some of the questions that they're sending beforehand, especially if I know that they're a client who has had previous issues. And I also try to do the research on the person who's doing the interview. So if they work for a tabloid, then I'm
Mhm.
going to kind of say, are you sure you want this kind of interview because you could possibly be ambushed as you know,
Boundaries.
Hmm.
questions, but I do try for the clients who have had previous issues or going through, like in Dallas, we have three of our politicians, our black politicians, who got into a fight at a gospel station, right?
Mm.
So,
Wait. They got into a fight at a gospel.
yes, two of them went head to head because one of them slept with the other one's wife, and now they're running against each other. And
Well, somebody's singing Jesus from the stage, right? Somebody's singing Jesus. They're
Yes.
singing Jesus.
while the third candidate is filming all of this. So it's just a big talk here in Dallas, especially with the elections being tomorrow. And so
Mm. Yeah,
if
sure is.
one of those gentlemen were my client, then I would definitely say, be ready to answer these questions just in case. Or I tell them to deflect because I did help a friend who she was making a documentary and she had a very high profile interviewee in the film that people started to throw their hands up because they didn't want anything to do with this person at this particular time.
Mhm.
So I told her any question that she received that would be negative to flip it and highlight the positivity of the documentary as well as highlight the positivity of that person. And so she was able to basically get the news hounds off her back by going and deflecting to his good side. And I said, I don't care what question they throw at you, you still have to deflect back to the positive. You still have to highlight
Mm.
it. You have to then take an advertorial spin to, I'm sorry, there's a dog. I'm dog sitting. And I hear scratching. I guess the dog has to go to the restroom, so but
Oh, God, that's funny.
To just make sure that whatever is that they constantly spin it back to the positive, almost become advertorial in your response, where you're highlighting the film, where you're highlighting this person. So those ambush questions I love, because it gives me a time to,
Mhm.
you're going to get a response out of me, and then you're going to get an answer that you can't do anything with.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
More
So it takes
time
some training, but the whole point of that is it takes training. It's not really about being a quick wit and being just this
Mhm.
person who's just so, quick on the draw. Oh, I got you. Because I can be a
Mhm.
smarty mouth too, but that's not really what it's about. Because the thing is that you can't win someone's audience. I can't go on
Mhm.
Paula G's show and argue her down and win
right.
her audience to my side. They're her tribe. The
Yes.
best that I can do is to go and bow down. I do think you can deflect. I don't think you have to be hit over the head, but
Right.
to a certain extent you have to appeal to the mercy of the audience to say,
Mhm.
hey, your person is going too far without you doing it.
Mhm.
There was I sat in one of the very first Dr. Phil's, the first week he was filming, and I was one of the people who they filmed in the promos. And it was funny because my nieces and nephews from another state called and said, "You really like Dr. Phil that much?" Because we're supposed to be like all happy that we like Dr. Phil, and I know how to act. So I'm like, so I guess we shot that. A lot of people saw that. I was like, oh my gosh, you wouldn't think anybody would see that. But
Right.
the show that I was there that he taped was about how fast food was hurting children, and there was a
Oh my.
lawyer there with an obese African American young girl and her mother
Mm.
suing McDonald's, saying McDonald's caused the obesity. And
Mm.
so Dr. Phil was like, well, yeah, we feel bad about the obesity and she needs some help, but that's stupid to sue McDonald's because nobody forces you by gunpoint to go and buy anything.
Mhm. Mhm.
And he was a smart aleck and he was nasty. You could feel the whole audience just like
Wow.
rising up and hating this guy who's the attorney who's speaking on behalf of the girl, the little girl and her mother just sitting there. And I just felt, oh my gosh, you so picked the wrong attorney because he's sitting up
Mhm.
here trying to go toe to toe with Dr. Phil. It's not
Mm-mm.
ever going to happen. You have
Mm-mm.
to, you either have to be ready for the beating, deflect nicely, keep it going,
Mhm.
because most shows are not adversarial. You're going to know if you're on a TMZ. But
Mhm.
every once in a while, you get that person who's like, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that you've been in the spotlight. You hit that dog. Paula, I saw you. You got video. You hit a puppy and you ran away.
Yeah.
So there are those people who do that, and the bigger
Yeah.
you get, the better known you get, the more
Mhm.
people do like to
More of a
capitalize on
target.
that type of thing. So it is important to definitely make sure that you are doing that. Well, we have a light night. I don't know if it's because it's the Gmail. In the future, we're going to be going back over to Blab because that's my favorite way to do things. I don't have to struggle to get everybody on. But I want to thank you, Paula G, for coming out. You
Oh,
guys that are
thank you.
watching, definitely share this. You can go to ShowtimeMediaAcademy.com, get the How to Harness the Media book. I do have a new documentary coming out, and it's called Rise of the Womanpreneur. Yeah, thank you. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, you can go to BigScreenBlueprint.com, make an appointment to talk with me about
Nice.
your possible participation. It's called Big Screen Blueprint, and we will talk about that. And then those of you who have a show, you got your own show, you've been doing a show, but
Mhm.
you would like it to make more money, we need to talk. So you can text me 909-235-9744. I was going to write it on the board, but my pen is dry. So I'll put it here, 909-235-9744. That's the office number. You can text that number. You can dial me at the office, and we can talk about ways that your show can make money. Because
Yeah.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to take your unfair advantage. I'm really good at figuring out
Mm.
what people's unfair advantages. This is something that you have that no matter what your show is, it cannot be duplicated. It cannot be duplicated. And without that duplication, people really can't copy what you're doing. They might try, but they really can't copy it. And so I want to give you a place where you can be. You can have your show. Nobody else can pick it up. Nobody else can do what you're doing. And also, too, just be aware, every show isn't an interview show. Everybody doesn't need an interview show. Some of you need a different type of show to make the money that you should be making. So we can talk. So we are at the top of the hour. Thank you so much. It's been really good. Thank you, Ivy. I see you got the dog taken care of.
Yes, because he started barking.
Yeah, it's like, you can't get on the broadcast. I'm at the office, so nobody can hear my dogs say. Normally, if I'm at home, you know, that's when they have so much to say. I'll put them outside, but you can still hear them. So, because the dog run is under my home office window outside. You open the window, the dog runs right there, so you can hear them. That wasn't a good idea. I picked the wrong room in the house to put my office in. But yeah, it's it's fun. It can be lucrative for you, and we're there. So remember, ignoring one's conscience is neither safe nor right. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.